Woo!
Hi, I'm Mia Voss with the Mia Connect Power Chat. This is a special edition. We're at ShiftCon. Look who I have with me here.
I'm Chef Dennis, and I'm happy to be here at ShiftCon, learning so much about so many wonderful things, meeting great people.
And you're going to watch us present live. Look at this. Hold, please. We got everybody trickling in. Look at this hot little crew. We haven't started yet, but since it's 4:30 my time, and I told you we'd start, then I'm going to get going. And look who else I have presenting with me. My girl, Layton. You guys have seen her on my show before. And this little hot number, this is Miss Amie Valpone, also known as the Healthy Apple. Yeah, so we're all going to be talking about, we're feeding so many people the Google Plus Kool-Aid. Are we not?
Yeah, we've been pouring that Kool-Aid steady since we've been here.
So guys, wait, I'm just going to probably even turn it around and kind of move, sorry. I have another microphone. Look at, I got this big silver boyfriend, and I got this going here too. So we're going to move the camera around, and literally you're going to watch us interact live at ShiftCon. This is one of the last sessions. But guys, let's talk about ShiftCon real quick and how amazing it's been.
ShiftCon has been awesome. There are people in every walk of life who protect our world. They're talking about chemicals in our bedding. They're talking about chemicals in our food.
Deodorant,
soap,
GMOs,
everything.
pesticides.
And if you had a question, you could get an answer here.
If you missed it yesterday, we had an extensive conversation about what?
Boo-boos.
Yeah, so, yeah. So ShiftCon was a brainchild from Leah Segedy. Came up with it a year and a half ago. And how many speakers do we have total?
A lot.
I think it's about 60.
Oh, a ton.
Okay. Yeah.
60 and about, I'm going to say 300 participants. Is that many?
Altogether, yeah.
Altogether, people that have, and so for the first one, again, we're at the Crown Plaza too. We got to give them a little shout out.
Crown Plaza.
They have rocked our world. This whole two or three, we're on our day 3, 2.5. But again, so we've had people from Stonyfield. We have Dr. Bronner's here. Tell me some of our other. Applegates, Nature's Path, Organic Valley, Rudy's. I mean, big names that came here and are really getting behind this whole thing. What is it?
Boron.
Yeah, Boron.
They ran 5K.
We look like a bunch of crazy bag people with all the stuff we're schlepping out of here. With all the good stuff that we got. So I'm going to turn the camera real quick. I'm going to turn my whole computer because I want the audience to see how this works. You guys, this is a Google Hangout. This is one of the things that we do. We set this up through Google Events. This is what it looks like. We're going to pull that up so you can see it on the screen as well. But this is how I do my shows. Chef Dennis also has his show. He's had shows with Dr. Jean as well. Amie, have you done some shows too?
I have, yeah.
Of course you have. You got to get on my show. Yeah, exactly. So, guys, thanks for being here and our audience, and thanks to everybody out here too. So we'll get started. Yes.
Is that Hangout on air?
This is a Hangout on air, and then and it's actually also broadcasting through YouTube. So the thing that we do, and Jean will pull up some slides for it too, is that we have an interaction. I interacted with people that are in the audience, and they can ask us questions as well too. So
anyway, this is our presentation.
Yes. So we're going to get started.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I love our title.
Well, so many people have questions, but what I hear more than anything else is what is Google Plus? And they want to know what it is. Is it a platform? Is it a new product? What is it? Well, the easiest question is it's all of the above. But it's run and owned by the top 2 social media search engines. So if you want to know where to drop your content, dropping it inside the web of the top 2 search engines is a pretty good place to make sure that your content's indexed immediately and moving out to anybody who's searching for your words, your keywords, right away. And when I say top 2, that means YouTube. It's Google and YouTube. And you're probably there already, even though you may not think it. If you have a YouTube channel of your own, you are already in Google+. And be careful if you have a YouTube channel, so that's the one to use. Don't start over.
Yeah. And just to give you an idea of the size, YouTube is the 2nd largest, and all the other search engines combined are not as big as YouTube. So that is how much power Google has along with YouTube.
So a newbie on Google Plus is called Bluehead. This is my brother. and he's not there, so he's still a bluehead, although he's got a Gmail account. So he has an account on G+, but he doesn't use it.
And being a bluehead is not a good thing because no one will follow you, no one will respond to you. You know, Google Plus it's just like the egg on Twitter, right? That's the best I can.
It is. It's the egg on Twitter. You just ignore those folks. Go for it.
What I don't understand about, I have a really extensive Google Plus following, but I also have a lot of different Gmail addresses, and so it automatically starts new Google Plus pages for me, which is so annoying. Because then someone could search me on Google Plus, and hopefully they find one with 300,000 followers, but instead you can find 3 that have no followers. And also I have a different YouTube account, but I have 3 different YouTube accounts, which is ridiculous. So it's just like, why does Google Plus automatically start it for you again? It's kind of frustrating.
That's just what they do, but you can go in and delete them.
You can delete them, you can make them private, you can make them secret so that they all continue to exist, but they don't show up in a search.
Okay.
And there are some great people who can help you consolidate all that YouTube work.
Yeah.
And that, whatever you think about, if you have YouTube work out there, start from your YouTube work. Because that's your most powerful content on the platform before you dump anything else in it.
Meaning,
So if you have a whole series of videos on 3 different sign-ins, consolidate it to one, hide the others, and then keep going. That's your sign-in for G+.
okay.
Real quick, I'm going to do interactive with our audience that's actually watching this too. Lee Rickler, who watches the show a lot, says, who are the people in the live audience and what are they hoping to get out of the session? So this is what's great, just to give you guys some information. These are a lot of food bloggers that are here that are shouting this out. So they're wanting to find out a new way to get their platform. Any other feedback on that too? What are you hoping to get out of this session?
How to use the community, how to really use Google Plus to our like optimal advantage.
How to use the community and using Google Plus to optimal advantage, because this is a pretty new platform for a lot of you, right?
Can we go back to the beginning? I mean, not the beginning, but just basics, or just
Oh,
already covered?
I'm sorry.
No,
That's what we're doing.
we'll tell you
We're in the basics. I'm like, I think we are.
Mia right now is holding a camera that is live on air.
On you.
On you.
Wait.
And it's an actual live hangout. So if you guys go to YouTube right now, you're going to see a 20-second delay. Please, if you're going to do that, turn your volume off
Yes, please.
before you go there. And then you can pull it up on YouTube and see us live talking with you. And it'll be the most interesting show you've ever had.
I think I'm making people dizzy. You know what? I told them I was going to do it, so I think it's a good way to just bust that out. So
Yeah.
great.
It's fun.
Okay.
So here's some benefits of G+. And this is a set of slides that are super, super basic, and they will be up on SlideShare. So if you want to be able to check back to them, they're actually live in a post as well. So immediate indexing. In other words, you put out a post on G+, it's immediately indexed by Google. And if you put out something live on YouTube, it's immediately indexed by YouTube. You miss that day or so for the spider box to come and find your content. It's just there. Biggest thing. Copyright protections, you put a picture into Google, and there's this tiny little gray box with your name on it that pops up on the bottom of the picture. Nobody can scrape your pictures anymore because that box goes with it.
Do you click on that box?
You don't have to click on that box. Google puts it up automatically, and you have got your protection. Ripples are, you can point at any one of your posts and see who shared it and how far it has gone. You've got stats that you can actually actionably work with immediately.
And if you post a picture, there's even a way to see how many views it has gotten.
Yeah.
And you will be amazed to see when those numbers are up in the hundreds of thousands.
Yep, and I'm jumping on that too. And then a way to find out to engage with certain people as well is that you see those ripples and that they're sharing it and talking about it, and you can circle them as well and decide this is somebody that is interested in my content and wants to, somebody that I want to start engaging with.
So circles are how you file people within Google+. So it's your filing cabinet, and you can put people into as many circles as it makes sense for your way of thinking. So I have circles down to communities and down to topics, conferences, all sorts of detail, who owns chickens, because I'm a chicken person. You
That's
can go,
random.
it's as random as you want it to be, but if you're an author and you're about to do a book tour, knowing where your people who already are communicating with you live can be incredibly empowering. You can contact them and say, what bookstore should I reach out to? What location can I go to? And you've got this tiny little group of people who are already talking to you.
And
So feel free.
There's also a great tool to use called Circuloscope that will provide you with information on who went to your shows, who said yes, who said no, who said maybe, who read your posts, who your engagers are, who has commented. So you can make some really valuable circles with that. So when you go to invite people, you know who to invite.
Where do you find that?
Circuloscope is, you can sign up for it as a paid service. It's not that much. And it's, you just Google it, Circuloscope, and it's an extension for Chrome. And it's really, I mean, we use it, all of us use it pretty much every day.
So this is an image of the ripples. This particular post, I turned it around, pulled it up. One of the first people who shared it was Ronnie Binzer. If you are going into the Google Plus world, he is the Hangout master. He runs a group called the Hangout Master.
He learned me.
He taught all of us. You want to learn anything about Hangouts, you follow Ronnie. And then you can see who else he's shared it to. Martin Shervington, another person that everybody I know follows because he's smart. And there's Chef Dennis. So there's all of us are in there. Then there's the difference. Somebody asked, because when I put out the question on the Facebook group, what the heck is a profile? What the heck is a page? It's just like Facebook. Your profile is you as a person. Your page is you as your brand or as a brand. In Google Plus, all your power comes from your profile. Let me repeat that because it's completely opposite Facebook. All your power stems from your profile.
People engage
With people.
Not with brands, unless of course you're Ford or Kraft or someone huge that they're going to engage with. But people engage with people.
They did not practice that. Just
Actually,
now.
we
I
have
like that.
because we've said it several times. We ran a 13-week show together, Chef and I, talking about how to get the initial setup to be ready to be in Google Plus, and it exists on Wing Woman Production. All the videos are on Chef's YouTube channel, and it's a great way to really learn because we did step by step with screen shares and everything, just so everybody could follow along.
In question about that comment, so our communities, is it not necessary to start a community then, just use your page?
If you're an activist, you want a community.
Yes.
Yeah, and communities can be a very good tool for you if you use them properly. Too many communities out there are lead dumps.
Yeah.
People come in, and I always equate it to standing on a coffee table shouting, look at me, look at me. Those are the wrong kinds of communities. You know, you're not there to engage, and you know, you want to engage in your community. I have a bloggers community. I don't allow any of that. They come in to ask questions. They come in to share best practices. So, you know,
It's not about promoting. It's
right. It
Right.
should never be about promoting. Now, on another topic of communities, we'll probably get to them, is, you know, you want to look for other communities too. The best way to sell your message is not to all the rest of the people that already do what you do. You got them already, right? Or you know them already. You want to join communities of all your other interests.
So I'm in the chicken community. I'm in a knitting community.
Because they're going to ask that question, what do you do?
That's right.
Once they get to know you and they see, you know, you're a nice person.
Right.
What do you do? And these are the people that are going to go home and tell their parents, their family, their friends. Those are going to be your newest, best people that are followers.
How often are you supposed to interact with the community? How often are you supposed to post? And how
As
much
often
time
as
do
you
spend?
need to, as often as you want to, as often as it's comfortable for you and you get questions.
And I'll add to that too, back to what Chef was saying as well, is it really is about true engagement. So that when you do post, you're not link dumping. I mean, you just kind of walk the talk, and so people know that, oh gosh, you know, they know that you have the common interests, like you were saying, chickens and whatnot. I love that, and knitting. But then like, oh, and now because I love that she's so interested in me, I want to know what she does or what he does. So that's really been the biggest thing that I learned too, is this really authentic engagement of
Yes,
true
be you.
interest. Mhm.
There's nobody like you, so be you.
Is it really transfer into like making money? Or, you know what I mean? Is it like you have
That's a tough one.
Quick answer,
Business.
yes.
Yes.
I've been writing my blog. I'm the gluten-free doctor online, right? Okay, so I have been writing gluten-free doctor since 2006. I have made more money in the last year being a Google Plus producer for other brands because they found me on the platform than I did in all those years of writing Google Doc.
And
It'll bring traffic back to your, like if you're, you know, if you're posting on Google Plus, the people who, and it's funny, people who email me, even like random strangers are like, or people from high school, they're like, I typed in gluten-free pie and your name came out, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm not famous. It's because like, you know, Google knows you emailed them like 20 years ago. But the point is, it also, in terms of like monetarily, it'll bring people more traffic to your website, which if you have ads,
That's right.
I mean, again, that's like minimal money, obviously, but that's another.
but you won't get that. So if you go on Google Plus and expect that it's going to give you Pinterest traffic, it will not. Okay, what it will do is it'll increase your organic search. Okay, and the reason it's going to increase your organic search, along with the fact that you're going to show up more in search because you're on Google Plus, because they've rewarded their users. That's part of it. The other part of it is as you gain followers, like Amie's got over 1 million followers on her page, and so she's going to come up. Anytime any one of those followers looks for something that she has made, she's going to come up first because it's preferred search. It's set up that way.
And just to give some context, because everybody's interested in what you're saying, they're all like, what's the crowd doing? We like that. They, for you out there, they wanted to know about the monetization of it, and Jean gave such a great answer for that too. So, and thanks for letting us share you with them.
Yeah, you guys are all live. I guess we should like let you know you're live as we turn the camera around.
They're live on that too.
So this is a profile setup, and this is mine. This is just a picture of my profile setup. And the thing I wanted you to realize out of this whole dense little thing is the column that says contributor to. Obviously enough, that first one is my site, but then and then my second site, Wing Worm. But it's where you put all the places you've ever guest posted or worked continuously or in the past. So if you have ever been a HuffPost author, if you have ever guest hosted on some huge site, you know, Ree Drummond decided to help you and you guest posted on her site. Guess what this does to your being found in Google? You are now an expert, and they like experts. So when you set up your profile well, you're giving Google the information to make the connections to say this person knows their stuff.
And they also like to know what else you do. So you put your LinkedIn profile up there, you put your Twitter, you put your
they're all here.
Pinterest. You put them all because they're looking at a whole picture of a person. They're trying to decide that you're authentic, that you are an expert and you're authentic and you're worth them promoting and coming up in search. Yes.
Question about the contributor to, are you putting the link to the actual page of your?
If the question was about the contributor to, are you putting a live link? Yes,
Or are
it
you
is.
putting like the homepage of Valpone?
It is the live link to the article that you wrote that contains your Rel Equal author tag. And I will get back to that because authorship is not dead.
No, it's just sleeping.
It's just
I
sleeping.
think we should, are you asking like if you, like say you have a column in like Fox News, are you saying like, do you share the link that says like, here's my 1,500 or my 10 contributions, or do you link, is that what you're asking, or?
Yeah, I guess just more information about what
Yeah,
you should be.
what do you think
tagging
is
and-
Everything.
If you
It's like
are
it's like
a
a resume.
contributor on a constant basis,
Yeah.
then you would put the site because you're always there. And with that Rel Equal author contained within your post, and we'll get there, that will tell Google, this is how often this person posts on this site. So yeah, you would put the site.
I went over here first.
You might have answered this by implication, but I want to be sure. Contributor to, are you putting this in, or is Google finding you and putting those?
This is my profile, and I have put all of this information into my profile. And you only have to do it once. So you know you've done a guest post, you drop that piece of information in, it exists forever.
Yeah, Google is not going to put anything.
Google's not putting anything on your profile.
Well,
Now,
no.
and the one thing you have to do is if it says current or past. I think I have everything set to current because it's live on the internet and it hasn't gone off the internet, so it's all current.
Another
And
question?
these Google Plus, things under contributors, this is just when you posted something on their profile, and they changing the one?
On this profile, the question is, are all these Google Plus things where you posted or whatever? The reality is, I'm a busy moderator in groups, and those are communities where I am a moderator, or I have created it, and I'm the owner, or there's all sorts of things.
Not everybody's looks like this. This is Jean Layton. This is
This
good
is,
stuff.
this is me making sure that people find me. And I have to be honest, this is what I do for a living as well. So I am an SEO person, and I work to make sure I am found. I've already done the work. Now I want the credit. So the other thing is links. And the links you see there, that's Dennis and my show. Up to the bottom where it says Gluten-Free Baking for Dummies, that's my book on Amazon, and my blog on Amazon, and then the three top posts on my site. So if somebody wants to come haunt me, or stalk me, whatever word you want to use, they click through to my profile setup, they've got a lot of stuff to look at, which is great.
And
Right?
just as she sets this up, the rest of your profile should be that complete. You want people to know about you, know who you are, what you do. You're not giving them your home address, but you're giving them your email address. You're giving them a way to contact you, because that's one of the most important things, is being able to contact you, because you will get, all right, you may get some crazy emails, but you're going to get, people are going to find you that way.
Yeah, I've been actually finding, I just realized yesterday, I've been getting insane, really weird emails. I don't know if anyone else has been getting them, but I realize it's from my Google Plus page. And it's very creepy. Like creepy because they can see your face and everything you're doing. And it's a little weird.
That being said, I mean, the spam filter takes a lot of those out for
And
you.
she can lock it down.
Yeah.
To that end too, if you do a Google search and you're connected somehow with that person on Google Plus, even if you're not in the Google search itself outside of the platform of Google Plus, you'll actually see the email address. It's actually kind of amazing, unless you have privacy settings set up, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
very
You
interesting.
know, they connect things that we. Yeah. So I'm going to move on a little bit to brands and pages. So who uses pages? Brands, fans, and people who want to stay anonymous. Do you really want to have that as your MO on the most popular search engine? Brands makes perfect sense. Ford, Kraft, they all have big old pages. It makes sense. Fans, they use it to promote their work, which is amazing. The amount of live music you can see on Google Plus is truly
Live original music.
live original music. People are actually launching their careers on Google Plus. It's just awesome. And you know, this is my Blue Ribbon production page. And I could tell you, I probably have 400 followers. It's terrible. Sorry. Go ahead.
Again, it's not the same as, you know, on Facebook, they really do emphasize that. I do have a brand page, but I use it to tag my show. It's the Media Connect Power Chat, so that it has at least something that it goes to, and I have the information. I have everything filled out on there. So I at least have the company, but it's not what I interact as. I do interact as Mia, as a brand, but it is good to at least have it. You just don't have to make, both of them, you know, on and off.
I actually have a page and a personal, and my page has probably 10 times as many followers as my personal. So I actually do the opposite. I post 3 times a day on my page, and I link back plus Amie Valpone. So then, but still, I can do that. I do 3 times a day for the last year, and I still want as many followers on my personal page. So it's interesting. But I agree completely with what they're saying. You want to grow you, but it just so happened that my page grew, and
Your
yeah.
page grew too because you want to suggest music. And that's like a great thing.
That's like
When
being
Google puts you on that, it's like Christmas every day.
Yeah, it is. And what we're trying to say too then is just, Amie has a different, I have a different, you really need to think and start, you know, honing like what I want to be, what I want to look like, where I want to put my emphasis. And sometimes it just happens naturally like that. It just kind of comes together and then you follow it.
Yep. So this is circles. This is what circles look like. This is everybody in a beautiful little avatar with their name. I created this circle because these are the people I listen to. So
Supercharged.
You are on the super chart. Of course you are, dear. Those are the people, and I have this as a shareable circle in the slides. So if you wanted a group of people to start to listen to on Google+, and you wanted to hear great information about lots of aspects of social media, these are the folks to follow. This is my self-selected, totally by my interests, but this is geared towards social media and towards food. You know, obviously Elise Bauer is food, right? She's simply the recipes. Circle and Scope, the tool we were talking about, is down at the bottom there, as is Friends Plus Me, which I could not live without that tool. I mean, it's as simple as that. That's the tool that allows me to take all my work at Google+, move it out to Facebook, Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I think it could probably wash my dishes if I have to do it. I mean, it is the tool.
And if you're going to use a tool, the items should flow from Google Plus
Yeah.
to the other social media. It cannot be the other way because no one will respond to you.
Nope. So that's a wonderful circle you can find there. So engaging followers, this is the same in any social media situation. Be human first. Talk personally, be interactive, listen, talk back, engage, and share using unique hashtags. Make up your own, register them, and make
Finally
it
get to
fun.
be told that talking back's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Talk back.
Talk back. Talk back lots.
Yes.
Okay. And then we're up to Hangouts, which is what we're doing right now. Live interaction with followers and fans. And the rest of that is things that are within the platform that you can use. So if you have a product, Showcase app can help you sell that product live in the Hangout. It's pretty cool. Q&A is, don't use it. It's an app they created that works really, really, really poorly.
It's good if you're moderating a talk and you're giving a talk on something scientific where you're not going to expect a lot of engagement back in that way, but you're going to have people that want to ask these important questions. That gives the audience the opportunity to vote on which questions will be answered.
Mm-hmm.
But you lose all of the engagement. And one of the best features of Hangouts is the engagement that you get during the Hangout. You know, that's what makes it such a wonderful social tool.
One of the best people I saw that used the Q&A app was Jennifer Lopez. She did a Hangout. Boy, she did. I don't know if y'all saw that. It was really good. She did a Hangout a couple months ago. It was talking about launching an album. And so it does launch out to a separate page, but you saw these people get so excited. She used it really, really well and answered questions. So as she was speaking, you could see the questions pop up. So at times it's really good, but I think it's more of a bigger brand
That's
kind of
it.
thing. And for you and I, especially with our shows, we'll see some examples of the audience interacting with one another. That's super fun. So they're not only talking to me or my panel, they're talking to each other. That's pretty organic. They're talking right now.
And so we all use the comment tracker because that allows the people to interact in the event and then us to be able to bring those comments live onto the screen, have them answered by each other in the event, and move on from there. Live events on YouTube, you can launch from YouTube if you choose to. And I use that frequently because I work as a brand producer. And so lots of times people don't need to see my smiling face on screen. They need their own people on screen. And so I can use that and I can launch with me being anonymous, me running all the tech, which is really super cool. And I use that for, right now I'm using it for a gentleman who wants to keep it behind a paywall. So he runs it on YouTube Live and we jump it behind a paywall and people pay him to have all these things watched later.
You did a great one too, where you were on the screen with Voss right now last year. You had a bunch of different, Jean had a bunch of different guests. I was one of her guests. You had a great series last year. I love that something
That was a different brand I was working with. I had to launch Grains of Discovery for Voss Redmond, and those are live and watchable on my YouTube channel, which I gotta admit, I kept talking to them and saying, shouldn't this be on Bob's channel? And they kept saying, no, we want you to get the views. And I'm like, heck yeah.
And you will get some sponsors that really don't care.
Or they don't know.
But what you can do in that case is download the video and send it to them. You know, they can claim ownership of it. It's very simple to do. When you can download the video, you can do some editing right there, but you can then download it. You could cut it into very sizable bites to use. You can make little 30-second shots out of it, and you can get a lot more mileage out of it.
Yeah, it's really effective. This bit.ly link is if you wanted to join the Hangout Master Group that Amie runs, that's an affiliate link for that. So the best part of events, and we launched this as an event, right?
Yes.
Okay, so me
Scheduled
launched
Hangout on
this
Air.
as a scheduled hangout on air, which in the wonderful world of Google is called a SHOE.
Chewy.
A SHOE. Meaning that when Mia created it, it was indexed at that time. And so if anybody was trolling the internet looking for ShiftCon G+ or ShiftCon event, it would come up even though it hadn't launched yet. Huge bonus.
So putting it in the event.
You put it in the events list, and it's a huge bonus, especially if you start running a very continuous series, which both these guys do. And it gives you an awareness in Google before you even start your show. Great way to get everything in there. Sorry about that. So mirroring content. Do you guys agree with this one? Google likes the entire blog post pasted into the stream. In other words, it's not duplicate content if you drop it into Google+.
Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. We were talking to some SEO people, and while it's not duplicate content, they want something fresh on Google+.
Yeah. So things change on Google+ on a daily basis.
Just like Facebook.
Just like
Oh, they
Facebook.
But only
really
ours
does.
changes are usually for the positive.
So this is the Friends Plus Me link. So if you want to find that tool, that's the link for that. And come on. Oops, sorry. Authorship. Go ahead.
I struggled with I got really overwhelmed when a bunch of people started wanting to interact with me. Just who has time? I was on the Google preferred list and it's awesome. And then it just overwhelmed me entirely and so just stopped. I was how can I answer all these people? What do you do?
Expert.
No,
Can
I'm
you
not
repeat
an
that?
expert, but I do a million different things for my job. Oh, the question was, how do you not get overwhelmed with responding to everybody? So at a point in my career, I just had to start to say, I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. I don't even know what I have anymore. Sometimes I'm just
That's right.
so, and everything comes through on my Gmail. So Lori, who's in the back, she often shares my stuff on Google+. I used to right away get out of what I was doing, respond to her, and respond in email. And then you have to find the plus key, wait till their name comes up, and I was just that just took. And then you delete the email, and it was getting too much. So now, honestly, I just let it sit. And if you notice, 10 emails will come on top of it. And then by the end of the day, you can just say, hey, Lori, just so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. But I did on my personal, my Valpone, because it's I know Lori, you know what I mean? But then I respond to everybody on Twitter, you know what I mean? So, but not on Facebook. So I think it's really, on my email page, I don't respond to anybody, unless, I don't even get the alerts, because it would be overwhelming. But I did, I'm writing a book too, so I just had to get out of all of my Firefox, because I was just between all the pings and everything. So I've really come to the point now where I'm really not responding to anything. And I think it's I was talking to a friend about it, even just in social media in general. I think all of us in this industry, we get it, right? If Jean retweeted something and I could say thank you, it's not she'd be oh my God, she did not. It's I'll come back and retweet her next week or something. I think we've gotten to that point where you just kind of get it. And a lot of times it's a lot of random people. It's kind of like your blog comments, right? I get a ton of blog comments that are questions, detail. I used to sit there and write to everyone, and I'm this is,
health related.
Yeah.
Here you want to help them, but do you have an hour and a half to answer?
Yeah. So for some, I'll wait and respond at the end of the day, and other ones I just had to start deleting. Because I think it's almost for peace of mind.
Yeah.
It's almost we have so much to do, right? And we have to take care of us.
You're experts too, you get paid for your expert advice, your clients, but then you put yourself out there and Google Plus as an expert, and then everyone asks you, how do you navigate?
Yeah, I thought, right. Well, that's what happened in my blog too. People were asking for medical questions, how did you heal yourself? And I was responding, and I was wait a minute, you can hire me. Here's my fees, because it was like affecting me and my life, right?
Great.
And I was getting upset because it was bringing back my stuff, and I was like, this is just crazy. Hire me. So I hope that helps. It's okay to say you need to seek an expert in your area. Just leave it at that.
Mhm.
Because the reality is, if you give any advice online and they don't get better or they miss something because you gave advice, it's, I take it really seriously. And I tell people, I'm not your doctor. I mean, it says that on my blog. I am not your doctor unless I have seen you face to face in my office.
Yeah, I put
Period.
disclosures on all my pages.
Yeah, I put disclosures and everything, saying I am not like a registered dietitian. Like I've probably been through everything, and I know like phospholipids, all these crazy things that people don't even know, but I'm not going to share that information with someone because it's unliable, right? So even though I am an LLC, it's like, like all of us are, it's just too much.
I was going to go back to the format. Yeah, it's good, but the format as well. And that's what's easier on Twitter to respond one by one because you're responding to that. I kind of miss that on Facebook, the F word, we call it, where you can hit that reply. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it just went to that. And that is the hard thing about comments is if you come back later, it's almost out of context because that comment could have been way up here. That's one of the hard things I have. I respond to a lot, but for my shows, I actually let my guests. I kind of shine the spotlight on them and let them respond. But that is kind of hard because you're responding like 10 or 15 comments later, and it is kind of weird. And it can become this game of, thank you, you're welcome. Well, thank you for saying thank you. Really, like, it's really go on and on.
So we're going to go back to the slide. Authorship. Everybody's heard the rumor that authorship is dead. It is not. It is sleeping. Just because the pretty pictures went away doesn't mean that Google doesn't still use that information. And just because Yoast took it out of their plugin doesn't mean you don't want to be able to hold it in your site if you have it enabled. Because it completes the circle of, I wrote this, which WordPress puts into your site if you're on WordPress, or Blogger does. And then this is my Google profile, and then this is the piece of information I'm putting in. That circle of information is how Google knows you're the one that wrote the piece of information. So if you have it enabled on your site, whatever you do, don't take it off. They're going to bring it back. It'll be like a zombie.
Or they just won't tell you they're using it,
yeah.
Which they do with a lot of things, and they'll continue to use it.
Right. And rel equals publisher is for your pages that are not individual posts. So you need that tagged on your site as well. And if you don't know how to enable it, that lovely sharing circle I mentioned has experts in WordPress and Blogger in that circle, and I can point you towards which one is which and talk to them.
There are also
brilliant.
some excellent help communities on Google. Google Plus Help is one of them. And you can go in there and there's moderators in there. There's people that just go through the community and will be there to help you and answer questions and try and get you the help you need. A lot of very helpful people on Google Plus. A lot of people that share information very freely. It's not as guarded as you'll find on a lot of other social media. People answer your questions. People will tell you how they did something.
Yeah, I've gotten more immediate response to what do I do with this situation on Google Plus than I've ever gotten on any other social media. And believe me, I've been beta on everything. I've been there, and it's never been easy on some platforms. Google Plus, it's easy. But you have to figure out who you're listening to. You need to make sure you're listening to people who are truly being kind and helpful.
And people that actually know what they're talking about, because you'll find a lot of people that claim to know what they're talking about, and they're just going to lead you down the wrong road.
Can I jump on that? Don't be a size queen. And I say that because there's some people that have really big numbers, and that really does not guarantee authenticity. They could have been, we talked about this in our breakout session yesterday, they could have been on that suggested users list. They're not interactive. You can kind of tell when you see their views as well, and we can get into that of how, or you see how much they respond. But I kind of fell into that because when I came in at Google Plus a year and a half ago, I definitely saw some people that had these big numbers and thought it was just, bona fide. And some people I'm like, God, you guys are sure you can't find so like the numbers don't always mean they're going to be, you really want to find your tribe, whether that's somebody that has 500 people following them, but they're so authentic. Some of our favorite people don't really have that many people following them, but they're just so authentic. It's not about the numbers.
Definitely not about the numbers. And even the view numbers are not, because the view numbers can be skewed based on where it's been shared. So.
And sometimes the view numbers are also very misleading.
Yeah.
Can you buy Facebook likes?
No,
You cannot buy Google likes.
you can't buy Google.
That's so good.
And the reality is, up until 4 months ago, you had to use a real name to get an account. There were no anonymous accounts. There were no screen names at all. But about 6 months ago, they changed it. But up to that point, you had to use a real honest to God human name. And they had to tie to a picture, a human picture.
And speaking of pictures, don't make the picture cute where you're looking off in the distance, or you've got something covering half your face.
Or it's like this.
Facial recognition is coming too, okay? Forward looking, both eyes. So that together.
Yeah, I see that a lot. People's profiles are like looking somewhere else.
Yeah, and that stylish cut the half of face, don't do that.
It's not Facebook. And really, wouldn't you guys suggest too not changing it that often? It's not like, you know how Facebook profiles we do Throwback Thursday. Do that type of thing as a post itself, so then you can have your fun with it and tag yourself. But really, I do suggest just be super consistent with that picture. Just like Twitter, you're not changing it all the time on Twitter. So get that recognition. There was the gal here that had the used to have red hair and has blonde hair. Now she was involved.
Elizabeth.
And so people are still, I love that because she's kept it and she has a blonde hair right now. People still know. They just don't. Yeah.
So this is that circle. If you feel like writing down that URL, it is live. It will get you there. It's a tiny circle. It's only 22 people, but we're all in it. And you'll be there. It's actually probably 30 now. I've added people after I took the screenshot, but brilliant people in every aspect of what you would need to have as advice folk. So, and some really cool accents in there. The nice thing about the really cool accents is some of these people aren't physically in the United States. They're in the UK, they're in Finland, and I can listen to them just as much as I can listen to, you know, folks in Boulder and folks in Boulder.
And creating shows or creating presentations becomes so easy when you can reach out globally to people to do it. I did a LinkedIn presentation because I don't know LinkedIn, so I wanted to learn more. So I got a LinkedIn presenter from Switzerland and a LinkedIn presenter from England. And they did the show for me while I moderated it in real time.
And it was great too. It is. We actually just did a show yesterday live here and had the gals talking about, we were talking about the GMOs and talking about a lot of the issues we saw in our presentations. So then we had our friend Nazim join us from Milan so he could speak about what's going on in Europe. So it was really cool, a lifetime to share with him about this, and people are really excited about ShiftCon, you guys. It's pretty neat to see it on that. So they're like, wow, what is this? So we got to share our enthusiasm across the world, actually.
And we drank the Kool-Aid early, and we love it. So I don't think there's any question you could not ask and get a decent answer from
And
the
the
three of
Google
us.
Kool-Aid is GMO free.
Yeah, it is. GMO.
And HFCS.
Yeah, it's clean. Go for it. Nope.
Thank you for good.
Okay, the question was, is Google Plus going to go away?
And generally, you only hear that from people who don't use Google Plus.
That is true.
It's not a
And
ghost
they're
town.
hoping it will go away because they want to go back to their safer world on Facebook.
That's actually the question. I presented at Google in the spring, and the day that I presented, the guy that started Google Plus left. So that's why they still are up in the air because they don't know, no one's setting it up. There's no team for it. So that's where it's not really a rumor, that's really where it started. So no one really knows, right? But again, it's like Facebook and all these other, I mean, who knows?
Dave Briscoe is heading up Google Plus.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it was seamless. He took over days afterwards.
Right.
There's been no change.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My
They
internal
have a
Google.
full team in stock. Some people were moved from one facility to another, so they started screaming, oh, they're getting rid of people. No, they outgrew where they were. It's getting bigger and bigger. Google Plus put a manual out about a month ago. Finally, after 3 years of Google Plus, they never had a manual. They just put a manual out. They're not going anywhere.
And I don't think they would want to. I mean, look at, like, Google could become like the new Facebook, right? I mean, Google was, I felt like was lacking for so long when all these social media platforms were coming up, and now it's like Google Plus is, I mean, you post on Google Plus, you're better off posting on that than like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram like that. Even Instagram, like there's no links back, there's no SEO, and there's, so I would think that Google Plus, and I'm sure you know, would be helping Google. Not that
Well, see,
it's
that-
helping.
Something like the average person is done.
No.
Could be wrong.
I know.
Our community is really trying to focus on it. But, you know, if I look around and, I'm at the bus stop and I say, oh, this is under the bus, people look at me like I'm insane.
Let me ask you a question. You already have contact with all those average people that you know on Facebook, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Why would you want to connect with them on Google Plus? Meet new people.
I don't want to connect with them.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You have to repeat that comment.
All right.
She said she
She
doesn't want to.
connect on it with Facebook either. But really, you know, people always say, oh, none of my friends are on there. You don't need, you need to make new friends, okay? And you're gonna make new friends who are gonna help build your presence. They're not gonna be the same friends that you already have. You want new readers, you want new followers, you want people to go home and tell other people that don't know you already.
That's right.
And that's on Google Plus.
Ooh, I'm a
You want creating things.
yes. Here's a good example of this. For me, a lot of my folks on Facebook it's totally different. But I'll tell you what Google Plus created. It created me having a show with this guy who's in Orlando. We connected on Google Plus. We actually met for the first time this weekend. We've had a show together called the Food and Booze Show for about 4 months or so, and it's just, you know, right now it's just seeing each other with legs more than anything. But again, this is not something I would, unless there was somebody that was maybe connected to Dennis. I actually called you Dennis. Isn't that cray-cray? So I was calling Chevy.
Yeah.
Like, who's Dennis? But unless there was somebody who was maybe connected to you, I wouldn't have known you. And the relationships in Europe, absolutely. Good friends in Panama. So in Tokyo, it just, I love that I didn't have to just say, I can't get you over here. And then people will be like, how do I get my friends over on Facebook? I'm like, just take a step. And I did spend some time in the beginning feeling like the unpopular kid at the table at lunch for a very short time, and then started engaging. People were like, oh, okay, Mia's interested in what I have to say. And then it started, but it's just people I would have never met. I'm so preaching the gospel.
The thing you have to remember about Google Plus is that you can investigate your personal areas of interest. And that's what I encourage anybody to
You
do.
have that on Facebook.
We don't have that on Facebook. But see this search bar up here? This search bar is at the top of your page. You can search for people, pages, posts, or communities. And if you want to come and be active pretty quickly, search for communities on your personal keywords, whatever you need to be talking about.
Right.
So I went in there hitting gluten-free, and it did not exist. Didn't exist. I started a community.
Still the
Gluten-free
Wild
thriving.
West. You can do that.
You can still do it. It's still the Wild West. You can claim your turf really easily. And then I just punched in chicken farmer, and guess what? There's communities on chicken farmers, and they were there before gluten-free people, because that's who happened to be there. And the knitters are there, and the crocheters are there, and the people, you know, moms of twins, all there.
And photographers.
Photographers. They
Google
got there
Plus
first.
is a photo-driven community. And if you have some great photography, that is the place you want to be sharing. It's just phenomenal. But you'll see things there that you would never have seen otherwise.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, I've never been a Facebook person. I actually don't even know who I'm friends with on Facebook. Like, I'm not one of those people posting pictures, looking at things. Like, Google Plus and all the brands I work with want to be on Google Plus. Like, it is educational. I mean, even if it's knitting or, like you said, chicken farm, like if you're learning something, you look at Facebook and it's like, look at me here, look at me here, look at me here. It's
Look at
almost
me
like,
eating this.
you know, and Pinterest is great, like for pretty pictures, and I think Instagram is great for pretty pictures, but you don't really learn anything. And Twitter, I think I've learned, you know, it links to great articles, but I think this is more like the educational piece, and I think that's why brands really want to be on it, because, you know, if you're being posted by someone who has a high following, your Google ranking is, you know, if they type in like GMO and nature's hat is in the back, right? And you put something nature's hat in, nature's hat is going to be right on the top of the first search for like billions of people. So and then you wonder why are people paying for, to be on other social media channels, So obviously every brand, every person does everything different, but I feel, and I think a lot of us feel that Google Plus is really like the way of the future. But like Lori said, it's not like, did you see my latest Caribbean cruise on Google Plus? Nobody talks
Nobody
about it.
talks like that.
Yeah. It's easy to get sucked in though. If you look and you start scrolling, all of a sudden, a half an hour later, I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
click out of here.
Yeah, we're in my world now.
Well, talk about how you work with brands and if you make money working with brands on Google Plus.
Yes
How
and
do
yes.
you format that?
How do you make money on Google Plus working with brands? That's as unique as how you can sell them.
And
To
you
be
would use the
truly
same
honest.
philosophies you would use on the blog.
Pitch them.
Okay, pitching. Same thing.
And it can be,
The thing with this is, think about 5-7 years ago. Were you being paid to write posts for blogs, or were they sending you a box of cereal? Okay. Now they're paying up real money. It took a while to get to that point. Well, Google Plus is just starting, and we're in infancy. So if you get on, you learn how to do Hangouts on there are going to be the deal maker. Putting a post on isn't enough. Being able to do a Hangout on air for a brand is going to be the deal maker. Having enough eyes that follow you so you can share it with a large enough percentage of people to make it worthwhile for a brand is going to be what sells them.
So a hangout on air with the brand. So with someone from the brand or just using the brand?
However, I've done them either way. I'll just
continue.
use the product, I'll have the brand on, I'll have other people on with the brand, or I'll just have other people on and no brand.
Right.
Whatever they want, you build it for them.
When I did this series with Box Redmond chose the bloggers, sent them a present of all the grains of discovery, asked them each to use them, create a blog post, and we did the live hangout talking about, well, what's farro? Why in the world would you want to work with farro? Well, I'm the gluten-free doctor, right? So I'm talking about a grain I can't eat, but I'm helping everybody to understand what it means for nutrition for people who can eat it. Okay, and then each of those bloggers got a shout out on the show, live link to their blog post, and linked within each other. So all the farro people linked to each other. So that was their pay for it. That was how it was set up.
So that's the biggest thing. Did you get paid?
Yes.
How do you know how much to ask for?
It's
How
like
much work
anything
can they
else.
pay?
It is.
You have to know, you have to be a marketing person. You know how much you're worth. You should be asking yourself that question, right?
Yeah.
How much are
reality
you worth?
That's your best question. I mean,
It
People ask all of us how much you said. How much you said for a blog post. I know people have charged $50 for a blog post. I know people have charged $10,000 for a blog post. I'm not telling you how much I charge, but
Right.
and I'm sure these guys aren't either, but you know how much you're worth, and you know if you have a big following or your stuff goes out or you have other things going on, plus you know your community, and these brands know you. Like me, I'm sure you're the same way. I don't work with General Mills, right? So these brands I work with know it's like someone's coming to my site, they're number one, they're gluten free. Number two, they either have an autoimmune disease or they're trying to eat it's their target market, whether they can have the magazine or something else, they don't know who's really seeing it. So that's what makes you more, it all depends on your blog and what you do, but I'm just very forward with brands. Because the last thing I want is to charge a heck of a lot of money and then have someone be really disappointed and not hire me again. When I work with a brand, I want to work with you for the next 20 years, unless General Mills can shoot out and something like high fructose corn syrup comes in, but it's like, I'm not one of those people that's like one-offs. I like to,
Right.
Have retainers or keep things going. But then I think it's like any of us. You have to be genuine to your brand too. So.
And that's repeating. And there's the great brand program that was yesterday too. They talked about that. For me, I work with brands, but they hire me to kind of be a color commentary so that it helps them get their message out too. You can do it that way. Now, when I do that, I don't guarantee my audience because I'm not selling me a Connect audience. I get brand sponsors for that or brand ambassadorship for that. So I separate it. But there are some that will just say, hey, we like your style, we like what you're doing, we know you can represent us well. Could you come on and just be, and it could be, I did one for cybersecurity presented by my client, but then did a guest blogger on it, speaking on that topic. A lot of different ways to think about it. Really is just like blogging, but it's the new venue.
Question back.
In so many ways, it's the way you want to be able to present that product or that company. How do you want to be able to relate to them? You can probably do it on this platform more effectively and without it ever getting blocked. There's no worry about we've got 20,000 followers, but only 10,000 are going to even get a hint of it because you didn't promote the post. There's no promoting the post on Google+.
And if you did it on a YouTube video, it's evergreen. So that's another question.
Specifically, if you don't mind, to go back just a minute to the Pinterest Google Plus comparison, looking at the new value that Pinterest is very popular with food bloggers, the food and visuals, and it seems like Pinterest is also trying to sell itself to do more at Pinterest, and I just said, would you mind to just shorthand compare a little bit what you can and can't do, or why you can do more with Google Plus than Pinterest?
Sure. So, I mean, the number one thing is that with Google Plus, you have a link right to your blog post or right to the brand. Repeat the question. What's the main difference between Pinterest and Google Plus? Pros and cons. So, I mean, from my point of view, I think Pinterest is lovely to look at, but I don't go there. Again, I'll use major tag in the background. I don't go there looking for like major tag cereal, right? I go to Google Plus looking for like new things and content and information, and it makes me want to click on the link and then go to that brand website or go to that blog post page talking about the product. And even bigger than that, it's SEO. Yeah. So going back to the same example, you post on major tag. I mean, there's not Pinterest, you're lost. If you're not posting on a, I mean, I post to a lot of group boards, which I'm sure these guys do too, which are, so the boards are posted like millions of followers, which is amazing for some of the brands and some of the different things because I have access to paying to them. But it's still, if you go, it's like Twitter. I mean, you're not looking at Twitter right at that second, it's gone, right? So unless you go back and look at the Pinterest board, Google Plus, you're up on that Google ranking right away. I mean, there's no way that you're using like the right. I mean, that's something that I'm sure Chef and Jean and Nick have that for. It's like hashtags. If you're using the right stuff, then even just to link to my name or your name or your website, I mean, there's really nothing. You know, Facebook is again, it's kind of like if you miss it, it's always usually like six people, 12 friends. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
You know, it's like, you know, joking.
The other social media are great. They have their places, and I tell people never to walk away from anything they have. But that being said, no other social media will give you any SEO impact. So you're spinning your wheels. If you're spending all your time on Facebook or all your time on Pinterest, you're wasting your time.
The reality is if your community is there though, learn to run Hangouts and then use 22 Social to drop it into a tab into your Facebook background.
Or I built.
There are tools, in other words. I'm looking at Shockface. There are tools that can help you move it from Google Plus back to your older communities.
Yep.
And you can 22 Social is the app.
And then the other thing I'm just going to remind you guys, you know, we don't own anything on any of these platforms. It could go away in a second. Yes, with Gmail or with Google, you can't get the email addresses, but guess what? They haven't opted in. So don't forget to always emphasize getting people back on your website. So I actually have a tab to broadcast my shows live. Because I do get people who are like, no, I don't know how to. I'm like, it's start, but that's okay. Just go to my website, and then I get them to subscribe too. So just a good reminder that that's your real estate.
You can embed.
That was for you, Denise Wakeman. He knows I always say that's your real estate. I got that from her.
You can embed the live Hangout.
Yeah.
The live Hangout on your own website.
Through YouTube.
Through YouTube. But it's live on your site. For all those people who I don't want to learn another social media platform, they don't have to. Okay, just as an example, I'm going to show you one thing. I adore Janice. Janice is one of the most amazing, sweet people. Okay, so she put this post into the stream 5 minutes ago. It's a cane-free, cane sugar-free, egg-free, dairy-free, and gluten-free. Notice the hashtag wedding cake on the roster today. She routinely posts. She's a Canadian baker. She routinely posts all of her cool
like
stuff,
showcasing
right?
cake.
Okay, so she's already got 4 people who have said like. On Google Plus, it's a +1. So she's already had that. This is a do share thing. But I'm going to go up here and just, it's in 5 minutes. She's already got 4 people who said yes, and I think 1 share and 1 comment. 5 minutes.
Sheffy and I posted the picture of us of our first food and booze together. And I think we got like 100 people that liked it and commented on it. So they just were interested in what we're doing. But again, that's relationships that we've built individually and then that we've built as our Abbott and Costello, right?
We are Thelma and Louise.
We are Thelma and Louise.
So somebody tell me what your keyword is.
Good question.
Anybody, is that your keyword or is that your title? Healthy recipes?
It's not coming.
No. Sorry.
That's a tool. Everybody you're seeing behind the scenes, I like it.
Okay.
All they're seeing is my
So
nostrils
I'm
right
just
now.
doing a search under healthy recipes, and this might get really broad really quick. It depends on if anybody's used that term. Okay, so best of, there's pages that you can follow.
That's right.
And these are people that use that phrase or it makes sense within your past expert status. So,
And here's another thing to
Sending
look at
emails.
too, is how recently talking about how recently it's been posted. Because I've seen some of them come up. Like when I love hashtags. I love me some great hashtags. And so I'll go and look and see is someone using it. And this is, so that's 528 today. So that's another thing to look at too. There could be a lot on it, but it was maybe trending 2 years ago. And so that's kind of fun. Start looking for that stuff that hasn't trended in a while. Take that bad boy back.
now this person's kind of gone a little crazy with their hashtags. And she misspelled one. Notice
I
that?
wanna-
Can you see this?
It's like we're mocking her and she doesn't know it.
I'm not mocking her, I'm just showing you
I am.
that you have to be really good here. But this is what Google thinks it is. Cooking, seafood,
You
salmon.
see, it took 3. So all those other hashtags are just going to confuse it.
Yeah. All those
Okay.
ones that she chose, Google's ignoring.
So 3
Cooking, salmon, seafood.
main ones, maybe 4 the most, okay?
What,
Maybe.
can you talk more? And so it only took 3?
Only took 3.
Okay.
Sorry. And this one is a roundup.
The unique hashtags too. I mean, I had, tripod Bob for my crazy cancer cat, and just came up with, rock the tripod, things like that, just to see. So it is kind of fun. I did take that crap crazy, which the Tea Party was using too. So if you see it, it's either Tea Party comments or my back crap crazy, which is my way of saying things that I love too. So you can use ones that have been used, but it is kind of fun.
And she's very radically hijacking that tag. It's not coming up under Tea Party anymore. It's coming up under me. So this one, you notice this is a roundup, healthy peanut butter recipes, and it's peanut butter, chocolate, peanut butter recipes. So all these hashtags, she should just ignore them. Okay, 3, 4 at most. Okay, so this is how you can learn.
That was your question.
Is your question, does it affect you? Does it
Yeah,
make?
I see how, so when you post on Google Plus, I post a segment from my chef. What goes up on the search engine optimization? Like, it's not like I put a title, I put, check out this recipe of whatever. So what is it actually gonna search and put up there?
It's going to use the hashtags to help you search it. Okay, she asked, when you post on Google Plus, what is it actually going to take to come up on the search? What is it going to use? So it will take your post and it will start with your name. Okay, so you're going to come up as an expert basically then. And then it will follow whatever categories you put it in and what other hashtags you use and what you may be talking about. Google will try to discern, just like it does with when it crawls, that first how many words to see what you're talking
Should I
about.
put a title to every post? Like, should I be creative and find a title?
You should start a post on Google Plus the same way you start a post on your blog. You want to have a header, and you want to have an introduction. Okay, and that introduction doesn't have to be more than a paragraph. But you want to have an introduction. You want to put your link post, and if you're taking a post from your blog, and then you want to put those 3 or 4 hashtags, and then you want to find the best picture you possibly can and post it. And on Google Plus is one of the places where a horizontal image can be a good thing, because there's no rhyme or reason to it. We try to figure out why, but sometimes you get a horizontal image that will cover the whole page. It'll give you the entire real estate, okay?
Schema tags. Schema tags.
Yeah, I mean, but it still, it doesn't always work on all.
Doesn't always work.
Yeah, so that's
But
what
you
I'm
gotta
saying.
have them in place.
Yeah, but there's no rhyme or reason to why. Sometimes it just happens because I think Google's got a dartboard actually.
Or some 28-year-old intern going, I like that one.
Pretty much. So, I mean, but that's one of the places it can benefit. The vertical is still always a good bet.
Okay, so we switched our search term because we had some feedback from the live folk who are watching the Hangout. They said, search GMO free. And this, notice I did not put the hashtag in front of it, but it's using hashtag to pull. And these are all the different people and pages who are using GMO free as part of their name. That's not all of them. That's just, they show some. I can view all. And then you can find out whether or not somebody's sitting on a GMO-free name that's not GMO, who's being your troll. And you can block them.
Which
But-
is possible.
which is completely possible. This one is like having a blue head. They haven't done themes to set up. They just grab the name and they're sitting on it. We'll ignore that. But look, GMO-free Finland. GMO-free Jackson, that I believe is Jackson County, Oregon. But see how many people are just sitting there.
And as you get down further, they will be the least active or inactive.
See how we've dropped to all blue heads?
I'm going to give a quick shout out to Esther. That was her keyword. She's Mama Grandon. She is ShiftCon at home. So it's pretty cool. She's watching us live and commenting on it too.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, girlfriend.
Thank you.
She's our new BFF, isn't she?
She is. You have some other questions, go back there.
I have a question about the images. Is there a difference between uploading your image from your computer versus using the image that will automatically post with your
Yes, most definitely. Because when you post, they used to just give you a little thumbnail. Okay, now they give you a bigger picture, but there's a crinkle under it. So I know that you didn't care enough to actually post it.
It's like busy.
Yes, take the best image you have and post it and write the post. See, that's where the difference is. If you share the link and just let it kind of auto post, you won't get engagement. People need to know that you actually care, you wrote it, you're a real person, and then they'll start to engage on your post.
It's like Facebook. If you just put in the link, that little weird little thing comes up.
Okay.
You got to exit out and pop in your.
You got another question too? Okay.
Okay. We're pulling a question from the Hangout comments. So
Which is a great question for all of us. So one of the biggest things you want to do when you're setting up an event is you want to make sure that you have public in there, and that way that it goes out. You don't want it to be private at all. And this is from, Esther says she hearts us, by the way. This is from Barbara Sherry Rose. Love her too. She always comes to show. She says, can you invite people to a G+ Hangout via a public post without inviting specific people if you don't know their specific interests? You definitely can do that to start off. What you want to make sure that you do is you always invite the public and invite any communities that you have. That's one thing you can't undo. You can't unring the bell. You can't change it from private to public, and you can't invite communities to your events after the fact. But let me also add you all those ones too. You have to be very, very careful about inviting communities. They don't see it kindly when you just start spamming them. It does see it as an interest. So really start using Surplus Go for that is fantastic. But just start building this group of people that you know are your backpack crazy for you. So yes, you can invite that. You can just start a hangout as public and not invite anyone, but you definitely want to invite your audience.
okay. So still on the GMO free, see this communities tab? So I just hit that. So if you were to come on to Google Plus and you are a GMO warrior, checking into all these sites would make sense. Now, this is a bluehead community. In other words, they ain't doing much. This is a spammer, obviously. There's no posts. 75 members, no posts. Okay, so, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna be really radically nasty, but if I see a beautiful woman's torso, that's a spammer. It's got nothing to do with
Let me make the
GMOs
noise that
directly.
goes with it.
And that goes for just about everything.
But look at this one, 616 posts, 343 members. I think people are talking there.
I think you guys need to join that one.
That's the one to join.
See that
Be
Monsanto?
very prudent with your time. You know, look for those indicators of, at best, they're probably trying to sell you something. No post, no post, no post. So guess what, folks? I think we need a ShiftCon community.
Yeah.
Oh, hail to the yeah.
So
How's that?
I will not start one. It's Bookie Boo's to start.
That's right.
So we'll-
I'll happily help her moderate it, and I will go to her and do that. But she's got to be the owner. And you can slide in. People can slide in there and clean things like that. So this is the Google Plus post. This is people using that term, GMO free. So if I were somebody who wanted to build a group of people to listen to, I would start looking at people who are using the term already. Dump them into a circle that says GMO. Listen to them for a little while. Get rid of the crazies. They will be there.
Yes.
You can take people out of your circles without any problem. Or if you want to be incredibly polite, put them into a circle, move it to, don't ever put these posts in my stream, and they won't know that you're not listening to them.
Can I talk on that real quick, just about trolls and things like that? Especially, I don't mean to make this a gender issue, but let's face it, that, you know, obviously it's I think you are the only guy. Oh, no, you're the other guy. Two guys.
There's 3 or 4.
There's a sprinkle, but be okay with just standing your ground and blocking people. And you don't have to put up with that crap. You really don't. You have to explain yourself. It's kind of, I think we were talking about that. Like we spoke about that. You were sitting at the table, just you know, not engaging, and don't feel like you look like a wimp if you're, you know, kind of right over. Just block them. I'm so okay with that because they just are trolling you. They're looking to get a reaction out of you, and you were speaking about that before. So it's okay.
And Google takes it seriously.
They do.
If you put down someone's harassing you, they take it seriously.
They shut
They
down the
plan.
accounts. They shut down the accounts. Yeah, and in a community, if you are the owner of the community, you have the ability to remove the post, remove the person, remove the post, remove the person,
Remove
and
the
ban
comments.
them permanently. You know, you have a lot of control.
You can report it as spam.
You can report it
And
as
if a
spam.
person gets enough reports of spam on them, guess what? They lose their account. And they use it for hamburger.
And then the other thing too is, this is a little off topic, but even if you have a post out there and people just start making, as I call it, hijacking, and they just either start arguing or I had this great video, this TEDx video at Denver, and somebody wanted to just get in this conversation about the crime rate. I'm like, oh, you're taking my happy away. I'm like, stop. It's not what this post is about. Don't forget you're posting this on their page, on your page, and they're coming to you. So you really own that. So I just want to encourage you of like, you can kind of monitor. I delete stuff all the time.
It's like,
I don't like
it's
it.
like your blog.
Mhm.
Somebody leaves a rude comment, you just delete it.
The delete button is a wonderful tool.
Mhm.
So just so you guys understand, this is my thread. I'm signed into my account. This little button over here tells me how many people have a notification. That's normal.
Mr. Jingles, look
There
at
you
that
go,
craziness.
Mr. Jingles. Mr. Jingles gets dressed up for holidays. He puts on little sweaters at the holidays. It's really kind of funny. And that little button will keep going until it says infinity.
It actually goes to 99 plus.
Yeah, well,
It does.
it does. This is, you know, I can move things out really easily and connect to all my other Google things. And this is really
Notifications
fun.
are actually not that intimidating though to handle. I mean, I used to carefully go through every one. What I look now, notifications are from mentions of my name.
Mhm.
All right, because a lot of times if you'll get notifications just like on Facebook, just because you commented or you did something. So I start scrolling down. If I see my name, I click on it and then scroll down until you see, and then you want to do that because you want to respond to the people that called you out by name because it's a really nice thing.
But here's the way you can do it. I right click on my notifications. Martin Shervington gave me this trick. Martin Shervington gets more plus mentions than God, I think.
Martin.
He and Ronnie Vincer, I mean, he talks on it. He does pleasure business. So he gave me this one, and if you right click and open it, you can see mentions of you.
Love.
Okay, so you can see just the mentions of you. these are the people you're gonna make sure you go back and say, hi, thank you, you know, I really appreciate that. And you don't get those lost in the massive amount of.
And there still will be losses.
There'll be losses.
Yeah.
There's no perfect system. I mean, people will write, you know, I mentioned you. It's just sometimes things just get messed up. Sending PMs to people, you know, using, the best way to use is the chat function. If you normally talk to people, it's the best way to communicate because it comes up and it's easy
It
to find.
does. And
So
then,
we have 12 minutes left.
okay, and I'll just, if you guys are gonna reach out to influencers, just don't get mad if they don't get back to you right away because of that. So sometimes you have to reach out again. I've had people like, you know, I reached out. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. So
Yeah, it's like anything else. It's going to take a few times before we really notice that, you know, oh, you're a new person. Do I know them? I don't know them. But if you make a few more comments and I answer back, and then you make another one and I answer back, now we're building a little friendship, a little mini friendship. So now we're opening the door to more engagement. And you want to engage with influencers because they pass juice back to you.
Yep.
So, I mean, if Amie, with all of her following, gives you a plus your name, it's going to carry a lot more weight than someone that has like 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers. So you gain more by engaging. It's like, you know, you want to be a millionaire, hang around with millionaires, kind of a
that's
thing.
right.
I'm a millionaire, so I have a lot of money. I'm just kidding. I'm not a millionaire.
Yes.
But you do get excited when you get that one first
Oh, absolutely.
influencer.
Yeah.
You're like, they plus one, they plus one.
Oh my gosh.
You've already been touching on some of that, but I just to go back into that fundamental about the SEO. Theoretically, if you and a brand new blogger a day one posted exactly the same post on Google Plus, which one of you would get better SEO for that post?
You would.
Because
I'm sorry, the question was, if you and a brand new, somebody who's been writing for a period of time, and a brand new blogger posts the same post on Google Plus, who would get more juice? You, as the person who has a longer history of writing, will get the juice, because Google knows all your posts, assuming you've done rel equals author, are in the stream. They've already indexed them, they know your keywords, and they recognize you. They know who you are when you put that post into the stream. Brand new blogger, they don't know anything about them.
What is rel equals author? I know there was a slide.
It's a tag.
I just missed that.
Okay, I'm talking in tag code now.
What is that?
It's a tag that should be within your site that tells Google. Yeah, this is one of those, if you're looking at me going, no, it's within your home website. Rel equals, yeah, your designer does this.
It's not like something we all.
Oh yeah, that's a nerd alert right there.
It's a nerd alert. I did my own, but I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
So you have your website person do rel equals author.
And rel equals publisher.
Yeah.
You want them both.
And you can
They'll know what it
also, to get the same effects, Google has badges. And if you put one of your profile badges in your sidebar, that's the same as rel equals author. Okay.
What do you those badges?
You go to the Google Google badges, and they'll take you to a place that lets you construct different size, just like anything, different size badges for what you want to have, and it'll have your name. It'll have your little, we call them hover cards. You'll have your little Google hover card.
Here's your
basically.
hover card.
Thank you.
This is Chef Dennis's hover card. Look at that.
He's
Header for his
the
site,
hooker.
his name, and then he follows me back. That's that little arrow. Then his tagline, how many circles I have in them, and then there's circle count, which is a whole other tool, and I'm not mentioning it because it gets really confusing between circle count and circle scope.
But sign up
But you
for
need
it
them both.
because then people can see. Yeah.
Now, I'm just gonna, it's not trying to be promotional, but Wing Woman Productions is 13 weeks of start here, go do this, take this piece of information, put it into this part of your site. It's that simple. It is not intended to be condescending. It's, hi, we really want you to get set up. Okay, so start at the last one. In other words, not my IFBC, and these slides are all the IFBC slides. I just spoke at the International Food Bloggers as well this year. This is my year of talking about Google Plus in all my conferences. But you can go back to the beginning and set up your page, set up your profile, set up your circles. So, you know, it's very matter of fact, just do this, do this, do this.
I have a question for Amie, actually.
I'm on my Google Plus on my phone because I'm just looking through it.
So when you started the Eat Real Food page, it took off very fast. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you were able to really grow your community and, I don't know, just in terms of, I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah, sure. You know, it's honestly one of those things. I get these questions from so many food bloggers, or even like how did I grow my community to my real food page so quickly? I get these questions from like some of the biggest food bloggers who they can't figure it out. And honestly, it's one of those things where I have no idea how we did it. I mean, we started out doing, what did we do? We met at Chicago Blog Fair, spoken how together, and I just said, we should start a Google Plus page. And she was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know, let's just do it. So we created it, and then we started doing weekly videos or monthly videos, like with brands and like different people. And then literally all of a sudden our page just started like shooting. And then we just started posting every single day.
Can you inject on that? That is exactly why it did, because what you just said, she started doing weekly shows on there.
Yeah.
And it got Google's attention.
Yeah.
So when you get Google's attention and they look at you and they see how much juice you already have, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So that's what propelled you right to the top, you know, because you knew you started using it correctly right away.
I also think the cool thing about Google Plus, like I just went on it on my phone to show you guys. I feel like I have never posted to Google Plus from my phone, but what do you think? Like you can't really post to Facebook from your phone. It's just a weird, I feel like it's all very complicated, exhausting. You have to write everything out. Google Plus, I feel like is easy, like it saves all the pictures you take with your phone, like and you just click on it. I feel like it's sometimes, I haven't done it yet because I only post and link back to my blog with different recipes, but I'm kind of like, I don't know.
That's what I share a lot. Like if I have time and I'm not sitting where I have my computer, I'll pull out my phone, I'll start going down the stream. If I see a really pretty picture, you know, it's like, man, ooh, pretty. It's a really pretty picture.
Shiny.
So then I'll share it. And I always, when you share something, there's a way to share something. It's like Jean Layton, that gluten-free cake looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know, thanks so much for sharing. Okay.
Do you want to talk too about like if you plus one, like if say you commented on the recipe of mine, would you like the difference between you saying like looks amazing or it looks amazing plus Amie Valpone, or sharing and saying look at this fun recipe, or saying look at this fun recipe from plus Amie Valpone? Do you want to talk about
That's a great point, because what this does, there's really three ways to be kind of Google Plus. One is a +1, which is probably not the best way to be kind. The second is to leave a comment, because what the comment does is it takes the post and it drives it back to the top of the screen. Okay, so that's a really cool thing. So if the post was old and I comment on it, it's going right to the back at the top, so more people are going to get an opportunity to see it. The most kind thing you can do is to share someone's post. Just by sharing it, you're driving it to the top of the screen, okay, and you are giving them more visibility to your circles, the people that you know. So it's like a really cool thing to do for someone. And you want to do it properly. You just don't want to share it. You want to start just like you would write a post, a header. And there's a way, if you use those little, what are those little stars? The little stars. Asterisk, thank you. At the beginning, at the end, it bolds it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one I've got is one of the least hours, right here. Quick, easy, delicious. This is what she tends to do. She put it out on the Simply Recipes page, which doesn't have as many followers as she does, and I've talked to her about it. So she originally shared it there. She's reshared it here. Click share to save it, which is an interesting way to think about it, because then it just drops it into your unending stream.
Right.
what did she write at the top?
She wrote click share to save.
I mean like up on the top, like her what's her
But see,
share?
she's really not, when she
All
reshared,
she's doing is it's quick, easy, and delicious. Not a great
it
title.
should say more.
It's a hashtag.
Click link for recipes, so she's directing you out to her website, and she's already pinned it, and this is the pin.
Right.
Okay,
Now,
so
one
this
thing,
is what Peg Fitzpatrick does, and Peg has written a very extensive post about pinning it first, putting the pin link in. It's not doubling, it's not anything else. You should find that post. The easiest place is there's a Pinterest board on my site, my thing. that the blogger's got to be using Google Plus effectively. The post is pinned there.
And now
Basic place fine.
what you see here too is like Elise Bauer get away with it because she's Elise Bauer,
Right.
but she's, you know, she shared somebody else's down here. But there's a ratio of properly sharing, and it should be 1 to 4. Your post 1, other people's 4. Okay?
Okay.
Because there's one thing you need to remember, you're looking for new followers. You're going to get new followers because good content is good content no matter whose content it is. It doesn't have to be yours, because if you're sharing good content to the stream, people are seeing this content. They're going to follow you because you're a good source of content. So this is, and if it's about food, this is also building your authority in that subject. So it's becoming like a win-win. And I always go back to the Jerry Maguire, help me help you. Okay? Share only good pictures. Because if it's not a good picture, no one's going to reshare it, no one's going to comment on it, no one's going to plus it. So you're not doing you good, you're not doing the person any good.
So this is what I was saying about copyright. This is what Google can find pictures. Automatically. And that link, I opened it on another page. This is, okay. So, hang on 1 second. She shared it, but she didn't share it from Google. What it would have done if she had shared it from Google is she would have then clicked over to a page that was her entire pictures. Yeah, like, okay. We're gonna get techie fast. Okay, this is me. We got 2 minutes, but this is me. This is, my phone is an Android. My phone backs up in the cloud every picture I take all day long.
But then everyone can see from your phone, like, how do you get like DSLR pictures?
You can upload. You can upload. This is just me being a really nice nerd. I just don't want to have to bother.
But, you know, that's not something that is necessarily that you have to do.
No,
I don't do it. Yeah, it's an
it's
extra
an
step.
extra step that makes it easy because I can then send this out.
But
It
notice
has a
this too.
location. It gives you all the information, which means Google knows all this information. Somebody steals this picture, they know I dropped it into the Google stream with all this data.
This comes off your camera normally.
Because off the camera.
And then if you scroll up or click, does it show you the views or go to detail?
This was this morning,
Okay.
so I came on.
But it'll normally give you the views. So how many
Yeah.
times it's been used.
Right there.
You did catch me.
I did catch it.
That was a hot mess.
I automatically.
Yeah, so when you data, when an HOA is like that, so should you do Thursday night, should you do Monday night?
You can't worry about when is the best time to do an HOA because you will not get an ungodly amount of viewers live.
You're creating content.
You're creating content.
I would say look and see if you're going up against someone who has who has a bigger show, who has a show. But that's one. That's one. That's mine's at 10 Mountain and yours is at 11 Mountain. So, but come and watch.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it noon.
Yeah, come and then we always do that. I do a post called Must See HOAs. It's the new TV, so we'll
How
put
many
you.
times do you post the link to that show?
You know, I post it everywhere. I definitely, it's an automatic post when I create the event, so that's really nice. And then I post it a couple times. It's really more about inviting people, but it's also about posting in that event too, and then that gets a notification to everyone. I post photos too. We posted photos from our little bussies, as we call them, virtual bussies.
And other people will share your event.
Yes, that's
So
cool.
that, yeah, so you'll
You
get,
guys,
you know, an
you
extra
guys.
10 shares sometimes just from people sharing it. So they're giving it out to their circles to come watch you. So, you know, they're not inviting people, but they're putting it in front of more eyes.
There's crickets chirping for us.
For a long time.
It's building content though. What's great is there may not have been that many people watching in the beginning, but that's in my YouTube channel.
And the
So,
views
why
build
not
as
do it?
time goes on.
So this is Larry Fournier. He's a
Oh,
service chef.
brother Larry, did you guys mention you?
He has managed to capture the double column with his image. Google loves it.
He's been staying at my house cooking for my boyfriend, and then he went to Steamboat. So now boyfriend wants to bring chef to the house too.
So he's a Caribbean chef. He was on the Soul. He's awesome.
And he was the same way as I got started. We got started doing live cooking demonstrations on Google Plus, teaching classes on
Yeah,
Google
it just
Plus.
happened to be in the stream.
That's cute.
So yes, the dogs do exist in Google Plus. Hangouts, there's Saturday. So,
Happy.
any other questions?
Saturday.
And yes, it's a hashtag. I mean, Saturday is a hashtag. So,
Don't forget Goater Day.
yes, go to Day. And if you're a Star Wars geek,
Oh,
You're on the
Star
right
Wars
platform.
Tuesday. Right here, brother.
Cloud Wars.
Doctor Who. I mean, this is, you have to remember that the people who
Our
were
big
here
fucking
first were the geeky nerds.
You won't find much about Justin Bieber.
No.
So, any other questions? Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye,
There's some
guys.
cards up there if you need some.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna say goodbye. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. You're watching Amie Valpone. You got Chief Layton, me, Mia Voss. That's Chef Dennis. This is our fabulous audience that came out to see us today at ShiftCon. Please check them out and check out all the bloggers that we mentioned, all the information, because it is really, it's making things happen. Shift happens. Hashtag. Speaking of great hashtags. Thanks, everybody.